Hey everyone, in this video we'll be looking at Chapter 18 of Peopleware, which is called Childhood's End. This title is a reference to the Arthur C. Clarke novel of the same name. The basic plot of the story is that aliens come to take over the Earth, but rather than doing it by conquest and destruction, they do it by directing human evolution instead and cause a utopia to be created. As the evolution progresses, the difference between parents and children becomes more and more pronounced. Now, there isn't a drastic biological difference between young folks entering the workforce now versus their parents, but there are certainly other cultural differences that are worth speaking to and being aware of. Let's talk about the concept of technology in the context of generational differences. Alan Kay calls technology as whatever is around you today that was not there when you were growing up. If it was there when you were born, it's not technology, it's just the environment. The internet, which today is a utility, wasn't even in household use when I was a kid. I still remember seeing a Wi-Fi antenna for the first time, and would probably have some kind of visceral reaction from hearing a dial-up tone if you played it for me right now. But things like cars have always been around, though at some point they were as magical as an invisible network that connects computers to each other all over the world. In today's world, people below a certain age are considered digital natives because of their familiarity with computing devices and the services that live on them. But at the same time, familiarity isn't the same as knowing what happens when you type in www.google.com onto a web browser. And although that level of granular knowledge isn't going to be required for most people, education on wielding technology effectively is an important requirement for participants in the workforce of all ages. The authors introduce a concept called continuous partial attention, which they see as a notable generational difference between the current and previous generations. That is significant because while older employees tend to only do one or two things at a time, younger ones tend to value multitasking and try to become better at it. As we've talked about the concept of flow in the past, and why multitasking prevents someone from getting into it, you should encourage your people to abstain from multitasking to the extent that it's appropriate to, and be sure to be a model single tasker yourself. Similarly, you should fight against continuous partial attention in other areas. If people are checking their emails and Slack during meetings, or doing other things, their attention isn't really on the content of the meeting at all, and the reduced effectiveness of that meeting will come at a cost. Instead, you should decide to either require attention, or better yet, stop bothering your people with meetings at all. So that's all for this video. I hope you found it helpful and thought-provoking, and I'll see you all in the next one.